the best way to have a great country is if we're a team, or if we're a country, we're supposed to be a team, right? We're a community, a giant community of 320 million people. What's the best way to make it stronger? Well, you have less losers. That's the best way. Well, what's the likelihood of you becoming a loser if you're in an impoverished, drug-riddled, crime just ravaged area? Well, it's highly likely that you're not going to succeed in that area unless you are some person of unbelievable character and unbelievable will and fortitude, and you're raised by people who did a phenomenal job.
Well, it has to be looked at as our problem,
Yes.
not their problem.
Yes.
You know, we are all living with the ramifications of inequality. You know, it's affecting us on a daily basis, whether it's crime or whether it's, you know, our gross national product would be much higher if more people were educated and more people were proud of their work. And
Yes.
and so there has to be pride. Less losers, more pride, more identifying with progress. And, you know, I think if you live in a certain culture in this country, there isn't a pride in succeeding.
Right.
They're just because you haven't seen it.
Right. And it's so hard to get out. It's so hard to break free. Like, we as a community, as a giant 320 million person community, should be concentrating on fixing those spots at least as much as we're concentrating on fixing problems in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
I understand the logic behind going to these other parts of the world that are fucked up and trying to solve these problems before they affect us, before they come back to us. That's the logic. I get it. But internally, inside of our country, we're not doing the same thing. We're allowing people to become violent criminals by never giving them a chance, by never giving them an outcome, or never giving them possibilities other than what they see around them, not giving them any opportunities. And we treat it as if we're all supposed to be even. We're all supposed to be on this even game. No, some people got one shitty card, and some people got like 5 aces. The thing is, this is where a concept like democratic socialism actually makes sense. It's like people think of democratic socialism or anything where you say the word socialism, they go, "Oh, you're going to take money and give it to lazy people." That's the worst case scenario, right? But man, if we're a community, if we are a community of human beings, we've got to help the people that aren't doing good. There's got to be a reason why they're not doing good. It's not that they're inferior. They have inferior choices. They have inferior opportunities. They have an inferior situation. And it's so hard to get the mass of people behind giving their money to some sort of a program that does take steps to fix this. You just don't hear it.
Well, you know, they had the jobs for, you know, FDR and the New Deal. They were able to start. People want to work. People don't want to get a welfare check.
No,
they want to feel
dignity.
good about themselves. The funny thing is, like, the factory jobs, you look back on them and you go, those are like really shitty jobs. You know, I grew up in a factory town, and it was like people were not enjoying it. People were getting fucking drunk and high and just getting through. And now we're hearkening back to like that it was like some golden age of great work. Like, no, you know, they were union jobs, which was great, but let's shoot higher. You know, the factory jobs aren't coming back.
Right, but the real question is, like, some people don't have aspirations. So if you took someone who's already gone through the school system and, you know, like, oh, we're going to get jobs for people, that's not good enough. Like, you got to fix the people that are fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is. Like, obviously, we're just two white guys talking shit.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have to worry about this. This is not our concern. But if you wanted to fix, if you were a person, like, say if Greg Fitzsimmons became president, how do you fix that? How do you even make steps to fix that? Because I haven't heard anyone come up with a plan. Maybe there is one that I haven't heard, but a plan where it makes sense, where there's a long-term proposition.
Well, there's a gap. The gap between the rich and the poor is growing ever since the 80s. It's gotten just out of hand. You know, the top 1% have 50% of the money or something like that. And it's just, and everything is set up structurally for that to continue to divide more and more.
Right, but are they playing a game? Right, they're playing a game called capitalism. and that game, they're dominating that game. And once they get the money, then they keep the money and they pass that money down to their kids, and then they keep the money. How do you change that? I mean, we could all play that game, right? Like we could all invest in the stock market. We can all just really focus entirely on making money, or should we not be able to? Like, how do you stop the 1%, like these bankers and investment people? How do you stop that? And how do you stop that in a way where it doesn't seem like you're changing the rules of the game because some people are just psycho good at it and completely dedicated to only making money?
Well, you're not changing the rules because the estate tax was there from day one. The founding fathers wanted there to be a very large estate tax. They wanted to avoid what happened in Europe, which is these building up of these families that are handing down wealth. And so these kids, so I think we need to go back to right now. It's like 35% or something like that on wealth over $10 million if you're a couple. They need to go back to really taking that money back because
doing what with it though?
Put it into schools to start with.
I would love that if there was like a real logic to how that money got spent.
Right.
That would be the problem, because if it just went to a bunch of if it just went to a bunch of government programs that don't seem to make sense and that are like poorly structured and that money gets wasted, that would make me sick.
Think about these kids that are inheriting $1 billion. What are you ever going to contribute to society? As opposed to if you were set up with, you went to a private high school, you went to a great university, you went to a graduate school, all of it was paid for, you had nannies, you were given tutors, you should be able to go out and make a good living now.
Yes.
You don't need that $1 billion.
Right. And you will feel so much better if you make your own money.
Yeah. So there should be enough money left. I'm not saying take away everybody's money when they die, but I'm saying that there's a grotesque amount of money that needs to be pulled back.